Pandemic Portfolio captured what happened in 2022 when COVID comes so well that I wanted to capture what's been changing so fast, what's happening in 2022, and how our children are processing those fast changes. I've got Kylie here with me who works with children's health and well-being. And what have you been finding speaking to our kids?
I think they really just want an opportunity to express the big feelings that they've had over the last couple of years, and to really have that chance to have a conversation with their big people and their adults about, okay, what has the impact been on them? I think what we've done is we've become so commonplace with people having COVID and people in their families and themselves even having COVID that we haven't had a chance to actually sit down and, how are you feeling about this? How is all of this affecting you?
Yeah, catching them up and remembering to stop and talk, because I think our grown-ups are starting to shut down. We're getting tired of all the conversations, we're getting tired of all the arguments, and we're forgetting to talk to our kids about it and making sure that they've kept up with what's changed.
I think the big feelings that everyone had in 2020 when we were grappling with how is all this going to work, that we forget that the kids have remembered those. So now people in their families and their loved ones are actually getting COVID and they're like, oh my God, am I going to die?
Absolutely.
And it's really like, how are we processing that?
Yeah, like it was only a couple of years ago we told them they had to stay home from school, and now we're sending them to school where the kid sitting next to them has COVID one day. So it's a pretty big thing for them to process, especially when our trusted adults aren't necessarily agreeing on what the right message is as well. It's a lot for these little minds to process.
And I think they've always had such instant access to information, that they've got so much information that they're trying to process, that they need to have those people that they can bounce off, because they don't actually know what's true.
Yeah, which bits are right. Yeah, I mean, that's hard enough for the adults to deal with, isn't it?
Exactly.
So I've developed this set of worksheets to help us open these conversations. Might be a little bit of fun. We might stumble across some big things that come out that we didn't realise were playing on our kids' minds. How do you think the children, what's the best way for a parent or a teacher to be approaching these worksheets with the kids?
I think the way that you've set them up, they're so simple in their layout that it really gives scope for kids to go anywhere with them. So I think pretty much how did wearing masks, or how is wearing masks affecting you? What about sanitizer? What happened when someone had COVID in your family? A simple question like that, leaving it really open and just seeing what comes back at you, but not being afraid to actually dig deeper if you need to.
Yeah, like how did that make you feel? And kids' creativity is amazing. They can use it in so many ways to process what's going on. I like to leave things totally open-ended with our kids.
I think also as a teacher and a parent that we need to actually keep ourselves a bit vulnerable as well. Like we have to actually share some of our feelings. So I think parents and teachers need to be prepared about where are they willing to go there and what type of conversations that they want to engage in, to say, oh yeah, I actually felt like that too.
Yeah, that's a really good point. A conversation really works both ways, doesn't it? So if we want them to share, we need to share as well. And I guess sharing about the things that we're unsure of and that might have been scary or sad for us, maybe we need to be talking about that with our kids too.
Because they've probably heard us speaking about it, and we forget that the little ears take in a lot of information. So why don't we start those conversations by sitting down with a worksheet in a comfortable environment? If you've got a couple of kids, let's do it all together, or do it one-on-one, depending on how you think it's going to work best to have those conversations.
Exactly. Kids are such a great they just say it how it is, don't they? And that's something that I want to capture with Pandemic Portfolio too. Once the kids have had these conversations with their trusted adults, they can create a bit of artwork, they can copy down their little quote that they've made about that sentence, and I'll be publishing those, making some exhibitions to show them off. They'll be online, and then also next year we'll be publishing them into a book, so that we've got this little snapshot. What happened in 2022 when the pandemic changed and it came into our community, it became an endemic, and we can get all those great pictures and all those amazing kid quotes. Aren't they just like, they're priceless?
And how cool will that be in the future to explain to people what actually happened in this time as we move into history?